Welcome to Osseo High School. It's a night of District 279 wrestling here. Northwest Suburban Conference action, a tri-meet, and the opening match of the night here on the varsity level is Park Center against Maple Grove. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Alan Wiley, the former head coach and a former wrestler here at Osseo High School, and kind of exciting when you bring all three of the schools from the district together and see how they match up on one given night. And I think we're at a point where it's a relatively evenly matched three group of teams as well.
Yeah, and thanks for having me, Jay. The District 279, we've done this at least a couple other times before, but always the kids enjoy the rivalries, the parents enjoy it, the stands get packed, and it should be a fun night of wrestling.
Yeah, both these teams have just had a couple of duels, and actually for Park Center, they didn't start competition until last night on Thursday the 12th, and Justin Miller, their head coach, saying it's a little different philosophy. They've got a lot of inexperienced kids in their program, so he wanted to have a little more practice time before they throw them out there on the mat, and so he's kind of scheduled it that way the last year or two to give his guys a little bit more instruction on the basics of wrestling without maybe having to go out there and get discouraged by getting beat in a tournament immediately and that kind of thing. So they just have had a couple matches. They beat Brooklyn Center, Concordia, and Cooper on their opening night that they hosted on Thursday night. So they come in at 2-0, and Maple Grove with a loss to a really good Blaine team. They did have a nice win over Centennial. Maple Grove has had some pretty decent success in recent years. However, they are short-handed. We'll talk a little bit more about that. They've got a couple of their best wrestlers out, and in fact, sorry to say, all three of the teams have at least one of their really top-level guys who will not be in action tonight because of injuries or illness or some combination of that. So that's unfortunate to see that. So there's Troy Seibert, the Crimson head coach, and Gavin Peterson, who was really going to be one of the better wrestlers in the state and certainly one of the better guys around this area. Played his soccer season and then found out he had a heart condition right at the end of that, and so right now they're just kind of in a waiting period, and he said it's probably unlikely that he'll be able to wrestle this year at all. They're kind of just waiting to see how things shake out. Obviously a loss to their program, but I think kind of a loss to the fans around this area too a little bit.
Absolutely, you never want to see that. I had a Maple Grove soccer parent come up to me and tell his story, and she was in tears, all teary-eyed, just telling me. So it affects not just wrestling, but he's in a lot of sports, three-sport athlete. Just really, really sad to hear.
And Justin Miller will be without arguably their best wrestler, Alvin Vu, 120-pounder, who is ranked in the state rankings, is got an ankle injury, so not anything as serious, obviously, as what Gavin Peterson be dealing with, but he will not be wrestling this evening, although he will be back before too terribly long. And then Isaac Ullman, a heavyweight for Osseo, had a concussion in the Lakeville tournament, so he is going to be missing tonight as well. We'll kind of lay out what we're going to have for you tonight. Obviously, we're starting with Park Center Maple Grove. The second match will be Osseo versus Park Center, and then we'll cap the night with Osseo versus Maple Grove. And we'll have all three matches live for you, but we'll be taking a little bit of breaks in between them. So if you flip away for a moment, if you're watching live on Friday the 13th, and you flip away and you may see something else on for a brief bit of time, but we'll be back with all three of the matches on live for you here on CCX, and obviously online. You'll watch it after that point as well at ccxmedia.org. Look at the captains getting together here before tonight's matchup, and interesting to see, early in the season too. Your lineup's probably going to change some by the end of the year too, with guys, settling in where they're going to be weight-wise and all of that. But early at this point, you kind of just go with, what you can do best for this evening, I think.
Absolutely. I'd be, and getting back to what you were saying about Coach Miller over at Park Center and seeing how that plays out. being able to practice more. The season, our competition comes up so fast in wrestling. You only get one full week, and then you have the Thanksgiving break. So you only get a handful of practices with so many new kids with all three of these programs. I'll be interested to see how this plays out, and all best luck to them.
See, early on, Park Center, I think I think all three of these teams have at least one female wrestler, but probably a little bit bigger presence on the Pirates. They've got a handful of female wrestlers on their team. They are a little bit different. Their lineup, I should say, is going to be a little bit different than it would normally have been. As you see, we got an injury, and that's for a couple spots where they'll be injured early on. So maybe not quite the same opening part to their lineup that we're eventually going to see for Park Center. But that is all part of it. You've got injuries, you got illness that kind of roll through, and that's where you're looking to build some depth, where you can have somebody else that can come into the lineup, maybe not win a match for you, but even just not get pinned or not get a major decision, things like that. There's Gavin Peterson in the middle there for Maple Grove, who is, as we talked about, with the heart condition. And he's been such a fun wrestler to watch over these years too. Not just that he's really good, but his style. I mean, he was a lot of action, and a guy that would always be entertaining, really fun kid to talk to and everything too. And he did do a nice job as a Energizer Bunny reserve on that Maple Grove soccer team that made the state tournament this fall as well. So best of luck, obviously, to Gavin as he tries to bounce back from that. It sounds like they've gotten things a little bit under control in terms of not being any immediate issue, but still obviously a little bit of a scary thing for him to deal with and for his family and certainly his friends and teammates as well.
Puts it all in perspective, for sure. But they're going to certainly miss him in the room, and hopefully he can still bring that energy on the sidelines in the wrestling room, even if he can't start. I'm sure he's there in spirit.
We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back with the start of our first match here. It's Park Center Maple Grove up next.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Operation Wonder Park is a go!
There's nothing more powerful than imagination.
Honey, have you seen my cell phone?
But don't just imagine.
My park came to life?
Ooh, a plot twist!
Use STEM to build. Ta-da! Create.
She did it!
And change the world.
Who's with me?
I'm more of a 2 feet on the ground kind of guy.
It's gonna hurt tomorrow.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
First matchup will be the Maple Grove Crimson against the home team.
And welcome back here to Osseo High School. As we get set for our 106-pound matchup as Park Center and Maple Grove gets set to tangle. It will be Olivia Sacker, an 8th grader for Park Center. And I believe we'll be seeing Thomas Schlangen from Maple Grove.
Thomas Schlangen. And for the Pirates, this is Olivia Sacker.
Gotta get the clock set to where they need it to be here. I think there's some discussion. Obviously, we're having two mats going on at once, and JV on the other one, and trying to make sure they get the scoreboards lined up with the mat that they're closest to there.
They just updated the controllers this year, so the guys at the head table still getting used to the equipment. Obviously, three of our top minds out there working on it.
And the way it's set up, actually, the larger main scoreboards are actually closer to the JV mat, but they're trying to get it situated so that, yeah, there's the one that, okay, we got it at 2 minutes now.
Yeah, someday they'll set up the gyms just for wrestling, but multi-sport, you got to make do with what we have.
And looks like we are ready to go. Olivia Sacker and Thomas Schlangen, and here we go in our first match of the night. A couple of young wrestlers, which obviously is almost always the case in our 106, with Thomas a 7th grader and Olivia an 8th grader. Coach Miller was telling me that there is some movement afoot to make a proposal to possibly, I don't know how soon it would be, but add girls wrestling as a high school sport. And I'm certainly seeing, most of the teams in our area have at least one or two, and as we said, Park Center, maybe a little bit more than that. So I think there's definitely some interest. It would be interesting to see just how many girls would be coming out right away, but obviously you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and every year I've coached dating back to 06. We've had at least one female athlete on our team, so it's good to see.
Schlangen got a single and then able to sweep the leg and get the takedown, so a 2-0 lead for Schlangen from the Crimson.
It kind of starts from the top down with now in the Olympics having the females in the Olympics, and now with Augsburg just adding women's wrestling, it's to be expected that the next step is in the high school programs.
Schlangen puts a cradle on. Back point's coming, although right now looks like he'd be tough to pin from here. Well, maybe not. He adjusted.
So he should be creating some separation right now and get that bottom knee right in her side. Bring his elbows together.
Time winding down if he's going to finish it in the first. Got 3 near fall, so Schlangen will go up 5-0.
Crimson defers. And the Pirates choose both up.
So a 5-0 lead here for Schlangen from Maple Grove.
So they're both working some hand fighting moves right now, trying to open up an angle and get a good looking shot here.
Schlangen trying to get around for his 2, and he'll get it. So a 7-0 lead now. And throw that half in. And Sacker in some trouble now. Schlangen trying to finish it.
She had a really good bridge that first time on her back. Looking to do that again here. Schlangen has it wrapped up, so she can't really bridge. He's pretty high, should be sinking back to finish that. And looking up, smile for the camera.
There's the pin. So Schlangen able to stick with it and eventually get the pin for the Crimson.
Right on cue, smiling for the camera. Got the pin.
Yeah, it gets, the more the match goes, the tougher it gets to fight out of that. As you said, Olivia did a really nice job avoiding being pinned at the end of the first period.
This is Kloppenstein. And for the Pirates, at 113 pounds, Jarius White.
Jarius White for Park Center, Caden Kloppenstein for Maple Grove here. White's an 8th grader, Kloppenstein a 9th grader.
A snap down right away and a go behind.
Very quick 2 for Kloppenstein. And he will take a quick 2-0 lead. And quickly turns him with a half Nelson, and this could be an early ending to this one perhaps. Kloppenstein.
Much better position on this one, sinking back on his toes.
And he will get the early pin here, just 35 seconds in. So back-to-back pins to begin the night for Maple Grove.
A little bit more experience for Maple Grove in those first 2 matches. And it showed there.
Coming to the mat for the Crimson, Ben Schultz. And for Park Center Pirates, this is Deja Moa.
Deja Mua for Park Center and Ben Schultz for Maple Grove.
Ben's a very talented wrestler.
Quick takedown here. Mua moved in from the JV lineup because they wanted to, just didn't want to have an open spot here tonight. And Schultz, it sounds like, has had, pretty strong youth career. And he's been up against some tough guys so far, so he doesn't have a winning record yet, but I think, he's certainly probably will by the end of the season.
Absolutely.
And there's a pin for Schultz. This one coming at 38 seconds.
7th grader gets a win by fall.
So as we said, Park Center a little short-handed in the lightest part of their lineup, and Maple Grove making pretty quick work here of 3 matches, 3 pins for the Crimson. Another look at how he's able to finish it here.
At 126 for the Crimson, this is Eddie Gilgard. And for the Pirates, Abel Wu.
Abel Vu for Park Center at 126. Eddie Kilgard for Maple Grove. And there's Vu. Park Center going to take their turn to try and get a win here after getting pinned in the first 3. Abel, 6th-year wrestler for the Pirates and 2-time section placer. And he's got Kilgard in trouble again. 5-0 lead, and it soon could be more.
Yeah, Eddie's got to try to feed that arm through. Abel just not quite letting him do that yet. He's fighting it off well, though, all the way back up to his feet.
Coming our way here. Did get an escape, so 5-1. Boy, Abel came out, and you could see after seeing his teammate get pinned, he's like, I'm going to get after this right away. Kilgard had a decent shot there, but Vu able to sprawl.
Head in the hole. Pretty tight cradle here with both legs wrapped up.
Vu driving forward here. He's got Kilgard in a tough spot, and he'll get the pin. So Vu in 1:21 able to get the pin, and Park Center with their first victory. So we've had 4 pins to start it out. First 3 by Maple Grove, but Abel Vu answering back for Park Center, and you can see their guys are pumped about it.
Yeah, getting some momentum for Park Center here.
We're at 132.
With their two captains, definitely gets the bench going.
In Florida Crimson, Zeph Yang.
Zeph Yang for Park Center and Quinton Colness for Maple Grove. Colness in on a shot here. Yang able to sprawl and fight it off. Yang, another experienced guy, 6th-year wrestler for the Pirates as well, and he's around for 2.
Nice quick shuck there to get around for 2. And quickly going to get those wrists and control his arms here.
Controlling that left leg, and Colness, to his credit, not being satisfied with being ridden there. He's working hard to get to his base, but just not quite able to fight his way out here.
Yep. He doesn't want to get his leg hooked there. Oh, come up around front.
And takes him to his back. Colness in some trouble now. Yang will get the pin for Park Center. So a series of falls back and forth. Minute 21, the time of that one. And now the Pirates to within 18-12 as they have countered Maple Grove's 3 pins with 2 of their own.
Yeah, he took that bar, came up around front in what's called a country boy. And does a nice job of really making it tight, lifting his head, getting the pin.
We're at 138.
So we move to 138, and it'll be Max Johnson, one of the captains for the Crimson, even though he's a freshman, and Samson Oyadokin for Park Center here, a sophomore at 138. Johnson, a state entrant last year, 7-0 start this year for the Crimson. Oyadokin not showing any signs of being intimidated or anything against a really good wrestler here. Johnson in on a double. Can he finish it?
Oh, good hips there, getting back up to his feet.
And Johnson trying to stick with it, but Oyadokin showing some strength, flexibility there, fought it off.
Nice shot.
Oyadokin in deep, and no, not going to get to 2 though.
Yep, still a scramble.
And off the mat they'll go. You could just kind of see when they first came out, you know, the couple of the other ones, it was sort of obvious that one was going to be a little better and get control early, but this one you can see both guys have an idea what they're doing out there and want to get after it. May not see the quick pin that we saw in the other previous matches.
Another really nice shot, but he's got to bring him to the mat to finish for 2 points.
Johnson shooting, but denied. Yeah, sometimes a match at 0-0 late in the first, you might think not much happened, but that wouldn't really be the case in this one. Oyadokin another shot here, and he'll get 2. And a brief count for back points, but not enough. But it will be a 2-0 lead for Samson Oyadokin for Park Center. He'll defer his choice, and Johnson is going to choose down here to begin period 2.
Going to the second period.
Johnson able to quickly get up and out. 2-1 lead now for Oyedokin.
Max looks like a wrestler on a mission right now. Get some points back. And Sampson's doing a nice job of defending here as well. And both are really setting up some nice shots. And good counters and good scrambles.
And they both stayed very busy here, too. We're not really seeing any signs of fatigue yet or anything. Johnson will get to now for the takedown and takes the lead for the first time at 3-2.
Sampson needs to hit the panic button right here. We tell our wrestlers, oh, he did a good job fighting that off.
Johnson trying to come real physical. Cross face there.
He can't just sit with that arm. He's got to move with it here. Sampson on the bottom. He's back up to his base.
It's really one of the first moments we've had where there's I don't want to say a little breather because they're still working, but just not quite the flurry of activity as he was trying to figure out how to.
Nice counter.
Ooh, and there's a reversal. Samson Oyedokin, beautiful move there, and it's 4-3.
He's got too much weight back and allowing Max to stand up.
So 4-4, but then in on a double is Sampson. Doesn't have any points yet, though. Nice hips there to counter by Johnson. And we'll bring him back to the middle, 4-4. This has been a really good one as we reach the end of period 2. Another look at this reversal.
Tied up 4-4. Let's give these guys a round of applause. Keep it wrestling.
Nicely done.
So Oyedokin will be down to begin the third period here. Great matchup so far. We've had 5 pins, which that's nice too, but it's nice to see one that's going to go to the third period. A couple of pretty evenly matched guys here and a couple of good wrestlers. Johnson trying to drive him forward here. He's getting up a little bit high right now.
Yeah, Sampson had that good initial burst from the bottom in that tripod stand-up, but back down and kind of referee's position here.
It'll be interesting. The strategy may change if we get a little bit later here because Johnson's not really looking like he's going to be able to turn him. At some point, he may have to cut him loose, even if that gives up the lead.
Yeah, no riding points in high school. Only in college level.
At the same time, Oyedokin hasn't really been close to getting out either. They're both kind of sticking with their spots. Now he gets to his feet, but brought back down.
He's setting up a tilt here, and he's really close to getting it.
Yeah, we're late enough that Johnson, if he could score one clean near fall, that might end up being enough to win the match for him.
I think they're going to give him till about 30 seconds left before he lets him up.
And we do go under a half minute to go here. Strategy really for both. Oh, just about had back points going there. Now it's too late for Johnson to really want to cut him loose. A stalling caution.
Stalling on the Pirates. That's a warning.
Oyedokin trying to get up to his feet, and escape would win it for him, but not able to get out. And it looks like we might be inching toward OT. And we'll end the regulation, the 3 periods, with a 4-4 tie.
Great match.
Yeah, it really is. It's been a great battle back and forth.
Yeah, Max decided to give it a shot and try to get that tilt. Ran out of time, but he knew he could push it into overtime, and he liked his chances in overtime.
little trouble with the headgear for Oyedokin. And a shot taken here by Oyedokin and countered, and he'll get two. And a nice victory there for Samson Oyedokin, handing Johnson his first loss of the season. 6-4 in OT. Gets the W for the Pirates, so now they've won 3 matches in a row.
I think we'll see that matchup again later on this year. Max we're setting up a nice counter there.
Problem.
But Samson, beautiful job of finishing that takedown.
And for the Pirates, this is Victor Perez Meza.
David Grant will come out for Maple Grove. Victor Perez Meza for Park Center. Perez Meza had a little bit of a single going, but could not finish it. Interesting, we've gone up a weight, but leaner guys in this match, a little taller, different body builds.
Yeah, both these guys are really tall. Looking for leverage here.
And there's a takedown for Victor.
Get on a wrist. There you go. Drive over it. Dig your toes in the mat. Come on, come on. Rip back. Get that half back in there.
Trying to figure out what he wants to do next here. He's kind of riding parallel. Now throws a leg in.
Yeah, Victor needs the arch here.
Yeah, not quite at an angle to get back points. You got to be careful not to expose himself to a pin as well. Grant driving into him here. Did not quite get out though. Now he does, so an escape for Grant.
2-1 Crimson lead.
And first period is going to come to an end with a 2-1 lead for Park Center.
They defer. Crimson choose to defer. Pirates choosing down.
Perez Meza will choose the down position here. Trying to kick that leg through and get back. Boy, now he'll get his reversal.
2-point reversal from Piers.
Could get a Turk here. He's gonna, nope, go back to the half.
Didn't quite have the leverage to turn him there, but we may see him go back to that.
Whoop.
Get to the inside and rip it back.
He's looking for that opposite forearm there. Try to complete that half.
Brings him back to the mat physical. And obviously, you know, you obviously experienced a lot of it coaching that were, you know, it's difficult sometimes. The things you work on in practice, you kind of go a little slower and you're working with a partner who's, you know, kind of working with you, or you get in a match and it isn't, figuring out exactly how to do some of these moves isn't second nature yet for some of these guys who haven't been out there and, you know, for long periods of time, and you can kind of see that.
Yeah, and as a coach, you just want him to keep trying it and not to be timid out there. It doesn't always work out exactly the way you show it in practice.
Grant again getting to his feet. Oh, and Perez Meza almost. Now we get a clasping call. And score the point for Grant on that clasping, so 4-2.
Pirates clasping.
Coach Miller telling Perez Meza, we only have 4 seconds to go. You got to keep him down here. And the period will come to an end, so Park Center's Victor Perez Meza, after Maple Grove pinned in the first 3 matches, then we've had 2 pins and a decision for Park Center, so they're back within 18-15. A win here would tie it up, or obviously bonus points would put them ahead even.
They stand up.
Yeah, Grant makes it a 1-point match.
Pirates 4, Crimson 3. 1 minute, 50 seconds to go in the third period.
Grant going low with the shot, but kind of got his head down there.
He's got to hook that ankle and then try to pop his head out.
Never could quite free his leg there, so he's caught in a tough spot. Let's see, out of this scramble, it's going to be Park Center's Perez Meza getting 2 ultimately. It looked like there was an opportunity where Grant might score. And now he does get a reversal and almost had him to his back there. Very briefly did. So 6-5 now. And still plenty of time, about a minute to go. Oh, he did get 2 near falls, so Grant goes ahead.
7-6, 1 minute to go, 1 minute.
I wasn't sure that the count had gone long enough, but it was apparently for 2 near fall points there.
I would suspect we're going to see more scoring even with 38 seconds left in the match here.
Perez Meza, though, looks like he might be a little tired. He's got his head down on the mat, and he's got to get one good burst of energy to try to get out here. He is to his feet. "15 seconds. Grant trying to hold on. He's trailed for much of the match, but coming up with a nice 4-point move early in the third period.
Well, Grant did a nice job of staying with the legs, and now he's even scoring some back points.
And the match will come to an end, and Grant picking up a nice win for Maple Grove when it looked like maybe he wouldn't. A 7-6 victory.
7-6.
There's another look at how that wound up. Not just content with the 2, he gets the 2 back points as well. So Maple Grove may be the losing one that they thought they might win at 138, and then coming back with a nice rally to win, with Grant winning at 145.
We're at 152. Coming to the mat for the Crimson, this is Ethan Moss.
Ethan Moss for Maple Grove, and Jonathan Oyadokin for Park Center, brother of Sampson, who had that nice win for them earlier. Little snap down here. Jonathan will get a quick 2.
Takedown for the Pirates.
John, break them down. Break them down. There you go. Work on that arm.
Trying to drive forward here and control that wrist.
Heel it out. Put it on his back. Put it on his back. Open up your hips.
Looking to bar that arm.
He's thought he might be looking for that country boy we saw another wrestler do.
Able to turn him here, and Moss in some trouble. Jonathan Oyadokin trying to finish him.
He's got to lift his head and look up and smile.
A lot of time to go here, too. This one's going to be tough to get out of. Oyadokin. Moss, give him credit. He's not conceding, and he's now worked his way to his stomach at least. So he's out of immediate danger anyway, and score the 3 near fall for Oyedokin, but it really looked like Moss was going to be pinned there, and at least for now, he's able to stay out of it. In a little trouble again, though. And here's the fall. So Oyedokin didn't get discouraged by not quite getting it earlier, and he'll get the pin at 147. So we are now evened up at 21 apiece with that pin, the 3rd pin for the Pirates. This turning into a really good match so far here.
All tied up.
For the Crimson, this is Draven Creighton.
Draven Creighton from Maple Grove.
For the Pirates,
And Ismail Conte for Park Center. 160-pound battle here between a couple of sophomores, and Conte nearly had him.
Yeah, he had him down in the front headlock and looking for a whip over straight to his back, but Draven doing a nice job of countering. Kind of in the same position, flip-flopped.
And he's on the mat. Yes, that's a 2-point takedown for Conte. Should mention, too, that it's, you know, even though right now we're tied, Maple Grove's got what appears like well, it's a possibility that they'll have an open weight. May not, but, you know, that's something that you kind of have to look ahead to a little bit, too. But they may be able to fill that, bump a guy up, it looks like, with a sophomore in there. But Park Center's got some fairly experienced guys later in the program here.
Yeah, great match. Evenly matched so far.
Off the edge they'll go here. Conte continuing to lead it 2-1. And close, but fought off with the whizzer there. Now he'll get his takedown, and Creighton nearly went right to his back there. And there's still quite a bit of time. It's close to a pin. He's going to get it. Yes. Conte squeezing. Didn't take long once he got him in that spot. So 1:25, the time of the pin. And Conte puts Park Center in the lead at 27-21 as they've gotten back-to-back pins here at 52 and 60.
Yeah, he made it easy for the official. He got his shoulder blades really flat on the mat.
Yeah, and Creighton, you saw, kicked out, but not in time. He'd already had his shoulders down.
This is Mika Bay, and for the Pirates,
Osiris Moore for Park Center, and Mika Vey for Maple Grove here in our 170-pound matchup. Osiris been in the program for quite a while now. Is a pretty good football player for Park Center as well. Vey, a sophomore. And Vey in on the double, and he'll get the takedown.
Well, he did a nice job of bringing him back onto the mat to be able to finish that and not run out of bounds.
I like the way he was working. It was way up, looking to throw a half in there, too. I think that it's exciting for coaches when you have a guy who goes out there and is, you know, coming after it. He's not shying away. The guy's a little bit older and maybe a little more experienced even, but quick escape for Moore.
That's an escape for the Pirates.
Moore kind of telegraphed that shot a little bit, and it's countered. Vey trying to sweep that leg. And now we'll get his 2. Nice job to stay with it. Bays looked pretty good here in this first period. More to the edge, and they'll spill off and bring them back to the middle here. So I wonder, might have surprised Osiris Moore a little bit with how aggressive he came out. Moore quickly up to a standing position here, but brought back down.
Yeah, the key on that is to, when you get brought back down to the mat, is to have your feet underneath you, your legs underneath you, and pop right back up. But getting right down to your stomach, it's a lot more work. Getting back to a base and then back up to your feet. One of the wrestlers' favorite drills in the practice room is a cat drill. You bring them down, and they have to get their legs right up tight to their chest and land on their feet, right back up.
Moore looking to the bench. You're going to choose both up. A lot of energy expended in that first period. Both of them kind of stepped back instead of toward each other. They came out really aggressive, and I think both guys kind of feeling the effects of that strenuous first period now.
Yeah, nothing prepares yourself for that first live match. So, Park Center being their first duel out here, their first competition. You think you're in really good shape, and then try wrestling for 6 minutes in a match. It's a different story.
Ray trying to take him down here. And he got two. It wasn't very long, but got enough to score the two. So 6-1 lead now for Mika Vey.
Yeah, and sorry, I stand corrected that they wrestled two last night. So they just got their season going this week.
Yeah, they did hold off till later, as we said.
He's going with the optional start here.
So we'll make it 6-2.
That's a 1-point escape for the Pirates.
Probably a good decision there. I think they knew that he was going to have trouble riding Moore very long, and has done pretty well from the feet. Hey, I'm not sure. He looked away almost. I'm not sure if he had an issue with getting poked in the eye or a contact lens or something, but it looked like he almost wanted to call a timeout there or something, but obviously that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah, no timeouts in wrestling, unfortunately for him. He might have been asking if he should get one more takedown from the coach.
Trying to do so here. Moore trying to get off the mat, and might be a little bit of a, I thought he might get a caution for fleeing the mat there, but not the case. Much slower pace to the second period. I think it's fair to say these guys are a little bit tired. Bay continuing to hold the lead, though. He came out real aggressive and got a takedown immediately.
At the end of two, Crimson lead 6-2.
So the period comes to an end. 6-2 lead for Mika Vey of Maple Grove. He will be down here to begin the third. Be able to get to his feet. Gonna try and pick those hands apart and see if he can't get his escape, and he'll do so. 7-2 lead now. I don't know that Park Center necessarily would have expected this outcome with this matchup coming in, but give Vey credit, he's wrestled well.
Yeah, real well.
Oh, there's Moore with a takedown. He's kind of saying to us, this one is not over yet. 7-4 now. He's got some time still, about 1:20 to go here in this third period. See what he can do, if he might just cut him again. Neither guy has really looked like they're comfortable turning the other, so 8-4. We're late enough now, though, that you kind of need to go for a big move, a 4 or 5 point move, take him right to his back.
Yeah, exactly. His coaches might be trying to tell him that from the sidelines, but it's hard to hear when you're wrestling.
And Vade does a nice job getting around for 2. So this one, it looked like Moore was having his best momentum of the match at 10-4, now 10-5 as Moore gets out. Half minute to go. Vade is very conscious of the clock, which isn't always a good thing, but at the same time, you do kind of want to have some idea and be strategic about things down the stretch. No need to really take chances if you're ahead.
Yeah, not necessarily stalling, mat awareness, I think.
Right, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Looks up there too many times, and the ref will call him on it.
Few seconds to go, and Moore is going to run out of time as Vade will score a nice win for Maple Grove, winning it 10-5. So the Crimson back to within 27-24 as they break a little 2-match losing streak here. It'll be good down the stretch here as a tight match.
At 182.
So we go to 182 now, and Bryce Tiber, a sophomore for Maple Grove, and Bulahan Oyatunde for Park Center. A third as one of their guys who have continued to wrestle for 4 years for Park Center. We've got a handful of guys who've been in their program for a while now, and you can just kind of see them getting better and better. Obviously, fans around this area know that in general, Park Center hasn't had real strong wrestling, but at times they've gotten good and gotten better, and we're seeing that right now. And Oyatunde, the takedown.
What I've seen overall from Park Center is an improvement in their shot setup and their hand fighting skills to set up those shots. A lot of that comes from Greg Nelson, their assistant coach. He is a mixed martial arts guru. He owns the academy in Brooklyn Center, and he travels all around the world doing all different mixed martial arts and wrestled for the Gophers himself. So I had him in the room one time. His son came up through our youth program, and we were doing hand fighting, and he said, yeah, the 17 P's of hand fighting, I could only think of about 5 or 6 off the top of my head, and he could rattle them off with no problem. So I know that's definitely a strong point for them and what I've seen here so far tonight.
Boy, and having good coaches in your room is such a big deal. Not just the head coach. I mean, obviously we end up talking more about or focusing in on the head coach in these matches, but a lot of different programs have guys who bring different things to the table too. You maybe have guys who were recent college wrestlers, and then you have some who got some of the old school training, and guys who are a little bigger who can work with some of your bigger kids and give them a little bit of a go in the room and everything too. It's important to have a little bit of that variety, I think, also.
Yeah, important to have those specialists.
So the period will come to an end, and Oyatunde with that one takedown with the lead. Oyatunde is going to choose down after Tiber defers. Tiber's got a 4-3 record coming in, so this is one again that Maple Grove probably thinks, yeah, we've got a shot at least. A stalling caution there on Oyatunde, or excuse me, a false start.
Really quick up to his feet.
And quickly gets out. And looked for a throw there, and he'll get 2. He almost had him to his back, but instead will settle for a takedown.
That's a 2-point takedown for the Pirates.
So 5-0 lead now for Bolahan Oyatunde.
Yeah, Bryce had to get a little bit more committed with that shot. It was almost kind of a half shot, half speed.
I was going to say earlier when he, being quick off the whistle like that, think of how much energy he saved himself by not being down for very long, but also he gives himself a lot more time with the rest of the period to set up what he wants to do instead of being down, for that first 30, 45 seconds or whatever. It can make a big difference in how the period goes.
Yeah, it's definitely what the coaches are looking for on the sideline. Up and out. If you can get up and out in 5-10 seconds, you're doing well.
I think it also discourages the other guy a little bit too. He kind of opens his eyes like, oh, okay, I didn't really ride him at all there.
Yeah, and it can play out as the match progresses. Start second guessing whether you can ride him.
Approaching a half minute to go here in the middle period, and Bolahan Oyatunde of Park Center in command, looking to get a turn if he can here as he controls that right arm of Tiber. Throwing a half in here.
Kind of has a bar and a half. He's got to work out to the side here. He's got it deep now.
Tiber was briefly in trouble, and back points coming. Can he survive the period? Yes, he can. It will be 3 back points, though, for Oyatunde. And his lead will grow to 8. And now he's probably hoping, I wish I had been able to get that just a little sooner to give himself a little more time to get a pin there, but still a good move.
Third period here.
So we'll see if Tiber has it in to battle back in this one, or if Oyatunde is going to continue to dominate. Right now it would be a major decision, of course, but I think he's, with a whole period to go, eyeing a little more than that even.
Yeah, Bryce is probably trying to set up something a little bit bigger, maybe take him from his feet to his back.
Tiber trying to be aggressive.
So find your 5-point move.
Oyatunde in on that left leg, trying to keep him on the mat here, and he will get 2.
That's a 2-point takedown for Oyatunde. He now leads 10-0 with 1:21 to go.
So his lead grows to 10, as you see. Just doing a nice job getting that done with limited space to work with.
Yeah, Bryce had a whizzer in there to fend it off, and he did a nice job of limp arming to get around, just getting that arm free.
Trying to take him over with that half. And he wants to go with that bar and then half with the left arm here. Tiber kind of knows it's coming. It's whether he can fight it off or not. So far, yes. Time winding down here as we approach 20 seconds to go here in the match. And they're doing just enough that the referee really, not able to pick out a stall on either guy here. They're just kind of working at the edge, and the seconds are going to wind down, and Oyatunde is going to win a major decision here. 10-0 is the final.
Yeah, later on in the season, the official kind of let that one play out a little bit. I think as you get closer into the end of the season, he might call one of them for stalling just to get that action going.
Yep. So 31-24, Pirates lead here with 3 matches remaining here as we go up to 195. And Maple Grove will have one of their better wrestlers in there now, and Johan Johan Rodvik.
At 195, this is Johan Rodvik. And for the Pirates, this is
Amarion Carter will wrestle here for Park Center. I think you could maybe call this a bit of a must-win for Maple Grove if they're going to have a shot. They're down 7 points right now. Rodvik, one of their more experienced guys, again with a couple of their guys out of the lineup, and a couple pretty decent sophomores still to come for Park Center. Rodvik trying to shoot and countered pretty effectively by Carter.
Again, one of those not fully committed shots. Just trying to get the feel for it.
Obviously, when you get up into these, 195, 220, you're seeing a little bit different stuff, or a lot of high risk, high reward throws and headlocks into the mix.
Yeah, it's not fun getting stopped on a shot and caught underneath at this as you start to these last three weights. But unfortunately, that's why you start to see some of the half shots and things not turning out well if you try those. That's a good shot right there, nice and deep. Right back up to his feet to try to finish. Sweep the leg. Well done.
Rodvik with the takedown. He was looking for the opportunity to throw in a quick half there too, but Carter,
he's got a butcher.
Got away, yep.
Got a walk around the head. Carter doing a nice job getting back up to his feet.
Showing some strength there for sure. He did give him the escape at the end there.
Yeah, right.
Crimson's choice,
nice sweep.
Pirates choose both up. Second period, Maple Grove leads 2-1.
So a 2-1 score as Carter got an escape just as the period ended there. Battling through this tie up here. Carter coming forward aggressively, but wasn't in real great position there.
Yeah, he was trying one of the P's, pumbling in.
Yeah, you get the feeling you will probably go from a lot of tie-up to one big move, maybe being decisive in this match.
Yeah, it's got that feel. Certainly won't be the last points we see in this match from the first period. Pretty evenly matched on the feet here so far in the second period.
Yeah, they're both, you can see they're just kind of trying to figure out what's my best avenue to being able to get to him and really get the upper hand. Under 10 seconds to go in the period, and Carter almost had an opportunity there.
Yeah, Carter took that last shot from too far away.
And that's something you see a little bit when you start to get guys tired too, that you can tell the shot isn't set up maybe as nicely as it ought to be.
Yep, those setups and the hand fighting are so important. Get in nice and close and open them up. Open up those shots.
Rodvik gets up and out, and now throwing a headlock on. And he gets the takedown and more. Rodvik trying to close him out. Rodvik actually tapped the mat himself there. He was calling for the pin before the referee did, which probably isn't a great idea, but he'll get the pin and pull his team to within 31-30.
I don't know if I've seen that before.
Yeah, watch Rodvik. He's calling the pin right there himself. And, you know, the case could be made that for that being, you know, a penalty point because you could potentially confuse the opponent.
Yep. I don't know that there's a rule specifically written for that, but that'd be one to consult with the official after. Just to make sure you don't get called for something down the road.
Andrew Toms will go for Maple Grove, so they slot him into 220 against Sam Pay. Crimson within 1 point. Park Center trying to close out a win. Just 2 matches to go here. Pay in on a shot, but sprawling nicely is Toms. Can he get around for 2? And not quite yet. Nope. Now it's Pay getting the takedown. Pay trying to get a cradle in on him here, and Toms goes over to his back. Pay trying to get the pin. Nope, not quite going to get it there. 2 near fall.
It's a 2-point near fall for the Pirates.
Yeah, just kind of slipped through what ended up being a half, but didn't have everything quite there to make it count. He's on his hip. He's got to get off his hip. There he goes.
.25 seconds to go in this first period. Pay and then work Toms a little bit right on the edge, and they'll go off the mat right now.
Pay doing a nice job of controlling that wrist and not letting Toms get that arm free for the stand-up.
And looks like that's where we're going to end the first period at a 4-0 lead for Pay.
At the end of 1, Pirates Sam Pay leads 4-0. Pirates choose up.
So Pay will be on top here to begin this period. One near fall in that first, and I think he has a feeling that he might be able to do it again here.
And it's heavier weights. You're really wearing down the opponent on the bottom, so even though you're not getting riding point like you would in college, you're making them work and wearing them out.
Yeah, that's where choosing up in the lower weight is almost unheard of, but not so much here. And he's got him over to his back now. Tom's in trouble.
Yep.
There's the pin for Pay. And that'll wrap up the victory for Park Center as well, as Pay gets the pin, and it's 37-30 Pirates. And they are stoked.
And again, the heavier weights, once they go to their back and they got another guy on top of them that's over 200 pounds on their chest, another reason why they like to pick up.
Luis Harrow for Maple Grove and Adam Attaboy for Park Center here. So Our 10th graders doing battle here in the heavyweight match. Park Center leading at 37-30. And of course, they're going to be taking on Osseo right after this. And then later it'll be Osseo Maple Grove. There's a takedown for Attaboy. Trying to flatten him out and throw a half in.
Carroll's got a good base here. Attaboy with good position.
He's kind of looking to the bench here about, okay, what do I do now? He's trying to set him up.
They want him to get a wrist, start to work a half or a bar. Probably look for that breakdown first.
Yeah, Harrow's kept a nice base, but he hasn't really come close to getting out either.
He's working. That's
gets to his feet here, and Attaboy able to bring him back to the mat. So he will continue to hold this 2-0 lead through one period.
And all these matches, even though the duel's in hand for Park Center, this match will come down to criteria for when they do seating selections at sections.
Attaboy around for two more here as he leads it 4-0. Kind of similar to how the first period played out, a fairly early takedown, but it feels like Harrow's just a little too big for him to overpower and turn here.
That's his moment, opportunity there. Just got off him for a second.
Harrow works his way to his feet, but not for long.
Here comes a roll.
Oh, and they'll get the reversal. I heard the Pirates coaches earlier warning him to be ready for that. And Harrow able to get it done here, so 4-2 is his deficit now. But Attaboy quickly gets up. He'll get an escape, and now a takedown. Harrow, I think, was pretty tired there as he was a little slow to react there. And so make it a 7-2 lead for Attaboy. Got the escape and then a quick takedown.
We're going into the third period.
So the period comes to an end, and Attaboy leading at 7-2.
Attaboy leads 7-2. Crimson's choice. They go down.
We've seen this before. They don't want Attaboy to put an arm around his waist in fear of getting rolled again. got all his weight on him. Well, Harrell's got a shot here. If he can swing that right arm back around his other side of his body.
Attaboy just struggling to flatten him out and really do anything with it here. He was going to cut him loose, but he didn't get away from him enough, and then Harrell reached out and grabbed that right leg.
He's got to get above the knee in order to finish that single, but he might not find himself in that position all that often.
Justin Miller telling Attaboy to cut him loose. And again, he's left his legs exposed, and Harrell might get a reversal here.
Yep, he needs to elevate that leg.
That did not work out the way Park Center was hoping. So 7-4.
30 seconds to go.
And now an escape though for Attaboy. 8-4 lead. And only 20 seconds to go. Both guys, safe to say, a little bit gassed here. Maple Grove bench telling Harrell, hey, you got to get after it, do something, try and win it late. And Attaboy will get around for 2 more, and he is going to win this one by a 10-4 score here for the Pirates. And they will win the duel over Maple Grove by a score of 40-30. So the first match goes in the books here for Park Center, defeating Maple Grove by a score of 40-30. And we hope you enjoyed this first one. Next up on the docket, it'll be Osseo and Park Center. We will be back with that one in a bit here at Osseo High School. You're watching Northwest Suburban Wrestling in District 279 style here on CCX Sports.